I'm sitting here with Alan, from the drummer from Black Dahlia Murder. My first question is about the name of the band. You're named after a big crime in, was it Chicago?
No, it was in LA actually. Yeah, LA, California, and it was the murder of Elizabeth Short, and it was a very gruesome murder. She was found with her face cut up and her body cut in half, and to this day it's a relatively unsolved murder. Some people think that they know who might have done it, but there's not enough evidence to officially solve the crime. So
why do you choose this crime?
Because it's kind of a metaphor for the American dream, like the death of the American dream. Like this famous actress went out to California to try and make a name for herself, and she was basically struck down in her prime when she was trying to do stuff out there, and just nobody ever figured out the murderer or anything, and so it was just such a disturbing crime that, like, I think it kind of fits in the realm of death metal with our whole subjectry and all that stuff, so it seemed appropriate, I guess.
So it's a big theme in mostly all of your songs, crime and murderers. What's the fascinating thing about it?
What's the what?
The fascinating thing about crime and murder.
I think that it's interwoven with death metal very heavily. The macabre aspect of real life, like the people who commit like insanely horrific crimes, and the people who just are like living on the fringes of society, sort of like the people who decide to do outrageously horrible stuff, and it's like no normal person's gonna do that, and it just seems like for someone to decide to do something like that, like a horrific murder or whatever, it's sort of like a movie kind of idea. Like it seems so surreal that like it kind of fits into a story, or like just has very like a heavy kind of scary subject for like real life, and it's sort of fits into death metal. It's just very scary and intense and grimy, and it's that's just kind of like how we sound, and so that subjectry carries into the music very well.
Okay, your band was founded in 2000, so can you tell us about the beginning of Black Dahlia Murder till now in a few short sentences?
Well, I have not been in the band the entire time. I joined about 6 years ago, back in 2012, and the band has been going ever since I was in middle school, which is really weird because I was living in Michigan at the time, and they were performing their first shows. So the band has just been writing death metal that they have liked for a long time, like emulating the bands that they really like, and they just really got picked up by a lot of different fans from all over the metal genre, and I think that's kind of just our goal of the band is to branch out and really try to get more people into extreme heavy music, so I think ever since the beginning it's just been about writing extreme music that we really enjoy and trying to get more people to hear it and understand it and like it. So it's better to get more people into extreme music on festivals or on club gigs? Both. I think that like with the festivals there's a very big diverse like spread of bands that play on festivals, and so we get to play to a lot of different crowds, and then when we do our club shows, it's a lot more close quarters and a lot more intimate, and that's where our fans who know us can come and see us and like get to see a longer show and a bigger show. But when we do the festivals, we're kind of trying to play a spread of different music that appeals to our older fans, but also gets newer fans involved with how we sound, and you know, get them to like us, you know, from that point. So,
what's the craziest thing happened on tour?
Oh man, the craziest thing. I mean, yesterday I was at a festival. I can't remember what it was called, but I saw a guy dragging a rock attached to a strap attached to his penis with a like piercing, and he was literally dragging the rock by his dick around the festival. And I posted a picture of it yesterday, and a lot of people were very concerned that he wasn't wearing shoes. He was only wearing socks, and I was like, if that's the thing that you're mainly concerned about, I don't really know if you understand like how bad it is that he's just dragging a rock around by his dick. So I would say that's probably one of the craziest things I've seen, like just being here now, you know?
Okay. Your last record was released in 2017, called Nightbringers. Can your fans expect something new soon, or what are your plans in future?
Well, we are going to be recording another album in the early part of 2019, and as far as what to expect, it's always kind of, you know, like we don't know what to expect from each other. It's just sort of like the inspiration is always different. We have Brandon on lead guitar, whose influences are very old school, and Brian, who is the backbone of the band, who really like writes a lot of the material and has written a lot of the material since the beginning. And so, you know, he has his influences and Brandon has his influences, and our last guitar player, Ryan Knight, he had a very progressive kind of idea for the way that he wanted to write things, and so every album's sort of different. It's never really like we go into it saying that we want to write anything in a specific way. It just kind of comes out the way that it does with however they decide to write at that time, and whatever, you know, their influences are for what they're doing.
Do you have some soon tour plans?
Yeah, we're gonna be at home for the next month, and then we go out with Aborted in Australia, and then we'll be in New Zealand, and then we will go to Japan, and then we come home, and then we will do a long or 3-week tour with a lot of different supporting bands, like about, I want to say something like 7 or 8 supporting bands, and it's all kind of regionally. They're going to play with us for like 3 or 4 days a piece around the country as we tour, and then we got a few more plans for the rest of the year, but yeah, we'll be going for a while longer in 2018.
Okay, I think, do you have some more to say?
I'd say, hey, thank you to everybody who has purchased and liked Nightbringers, the newest album, and thank you guys all for coming to our shows and the festivals and everything, and thank you for your ongoing support, and we hope that you guys really like the new stuff. So
thank you very much.
Definitely, thank you.